Y'all, the night the internet went silent, Tasha K went live and promised receipts, and suddenly Hollywood started shaking. Allegedly, while the world was celebrating Christmas love, Claressa Shields was sitting alone at home, staring at her phone, waiting for a message that never came. And at that exact same moment, sources claim Papoose was inside a fur store, laughing, shopping, standing next to Remy Ma, buying a luxury coat. Then came the real bomb. Tasha K said photos were deleted, stories were changed, and Claressa was told, "I'm with family." Imagine that heartbreak. A champion fighter who can destroy opponents in the ring, sitting in silence, while the man she trusted was allegedly living a double life. And insiders started whispering even louder. They say the gifts were bought with Claressa's money. They say the same jewelry showed up twice. They say Claressa was just a rebound, a chapter, not the ending. But the most chilling part? Tasha K hinted the industry already knew. Everyone knew, except the woman whose heart was on the line. Picture it. Lights off. Phone silent. Tears falling in the dark. Because the love she believed in allegedly turned out to be a deal, a power play, a betrayal wrapped in designer fur. If these claims are true, this isn't gossip. This is a tragedy, where love, money, and fame collided, and a champion's heart got knocked out. So tell me, was it all rumors, or was the truth buried on Christmas night?
So everybody was trying to tell Claressa when Claressa was down at the Louis Vuitton store, and she was just like, "Oh, he's with his family." It was like, "Yeah, he with his family, all right. He with the said he love." Remember, Remy left him. He didn't leave Remy.
The live stream didn't feel like gossip. It felt like a warning. When Tasha K pressed go live, the energy shifted instantly. No music, no jokes, no filters. Just a calm voice, promising receipts, and an industry suddenly holding its breath. Because this wasn't just about rumors anymore. It was about a story people had whispered about for months, but nobody dared to say out loud. Allegedly, it started with a single Christmas night. A night when the world was posting happy family photos, smiling couples, sparkling lights, fake perfect moments. But somewhere behind closed doors, Claressa Shields was sitting alone, waiting for a call, waiting for a message, waiting for the man she trusted to show up. And according to what was said on that live stream, he never came. Because at that same moment, insiders claim Papoose was seen inside a luxury fur store, laughing, shopping, standing next to Remy Ma. And that's when the internet froze. Because if those allegations were true, then this wasn't just cheating. This was planning. This was a double life. People started connecting dots. Old photos. Old sightings. Old whispers. Suddenly everything looked different. Was Claressa being played? Was Remy still in the picture? Was the truth hidden in plain sight? And the more people listened to Tasha K, the darker the story became. She claimed photos were deleted. Stories were changed. Excuses were made. And Claressa was told, "I'm with family." But according to what was revealed, the truth was somewhere else. Right there, in a fur coat store, with cameras, receipts, witnesses. And that's when Tasha K dropped the first moment that made viewers pause their screens.
Ready? Look at this. Look at this. This is a very distinct fur coat now. So Papoose takes her down now to the same dude to go get these coats done because he got the plug. He was with Remy buying her coat with Claressa money and my...
That line hit like a punch. Because it wasn't just about where he was. It was about whose money was used, whose trust was broken, whose heart was left in silence. Allegedly, people began saying gifts were bought with Claressa's money. The same jewelry appeared twice. The same designer brand, same timing, same story. And suddenly, the narrative changed. This wasn't just love. This was strategy. Some insiders even claimed the relationship wasn't ending at all, that Remy and Papoose were never truly over. And Claressa was just a chapter. A rebound, a public image, a business move wrapped in romance. No confirmation, no official statement, just whispers growing louder every hour. And Tasha K kept talking, slowly, carefully, like someone laying puzzle pieces on a table. She said there were people who knew, people who saw, people who stayed quiet. Because in Hollywood, silence is currency. And sometimes, the truth costs too much to say. The live stream chat exploded. Millions of comments. Screenshots flying everywhere. Some defended Papoose. Some blamed Remy. Some cried for Claressa. But one question kept coming back. Why didn't Claressa know? Was she blinded by love? Or protected by lies? And that's when another clip from the same live stream surfaced. One that made the entire story even darker. Because it wasn't just about Christmas anymore. It was about money, power, and control.
Calling in lies, pretending to be a fan of herself. Because Papoose out spending her money on Remy. I told you I think they both.
Those words spread like wildfire. Because now the story wasn't just about betrayal. It was about manipulation. About a woman's fame, her success, her championship career, being used as leverage. Sources began saying a brand was being built, not just Claressa, but Papoose and Claressa. Spotlights shifting. Deals being discussed. Control slowly changing hands. And suddenly people started asking, was this love or business? Was Claressa protected or played? And the most heartbreaking question of all, if everyone else saw it coming, why didn't she? Because love can blind even champions, even legends, even fighters who never lose in the ring. But this fight was different. No gloves, no referee, no warning bell, just silence, lies, and a Christmas night that allegedly changed everything. If these allegations are real, then this isn't just celebrity drama. This is a story about trust, broken in the dark, while the world was celebrating love. And the worst part? According to whispers, this was only the beginning. By the time the live stream ended, the damage was already done. Clips were spreading across TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, faster than anyone could control. Screenshots, old photos, deleted comments. People were digging through timelines like detectives, looking for proof, looking for lies. Because what started as a relationship rumor was turning into something much bigger. According to what Tasha K suggested, this wasn't just about feelings. This was about strategy, about positioning, about money, about influence. And suddenly people started asking questions they never asked before. Why was Papoose always around major deals? Why did his name start appearing next to Claressa Shields in business talks? Why did insiders compare him to boxing managers, deal makers, power brokers? Some said it was normal. Some said it was love. But others said it looked like control. Because slowly, quietly, the spotlight shifted. From Claressa to Papoose and Claressa. From her career to their brand. From her victories to his presence beside her. And that's when the next clip surfaced. One that made the whole story feel colder, calculated, almost planned.
I'm upstairs. And so, in my opinion, like I said, I think this is the biggest hustle ever. And I feel that if Papoose feels like he's going to pull a Al Hyman on Claressa.
Those words hit differently. Because now the narrative wasn't just romance. It was business manipulation. People began whispering. Was Claressa being managed emotionally, not just supported? Was this relationship built on love or leverage? According to rumors, deals were discussed without her knowing full details. Brand partnerships shifted focus. Interviews highlighted him more than before. Nothing confirmed. Nothing official. But the pattern looked strange. And the more viewers replayed the live stream, the more suspicious everything felt. Because Tasha K didn't just talk about Christmas night. She talked about influence. She talked about positioning. She talked about power. And that's when insiders started mentioning something even more uncomfortable. They said Claressa's ex, Tony, was loyal, quiet, supportive. But she chose love over stability. And sometimes, love becomes the biggest mistake. People began comparing timelines, photos, trips, events. And one detail kept repeating. Remy never really disappeared. Even when headlines said they were done, they were still seen together. Still connected. Still close. And if that was true, then Claressa wasn't replacing Remy. She was overlapping with her. A chapter, not a future. And that realization hit the internet like thunder. Because suddenly fans started asking, was Claressa the rebound or the investment? Was Papoose building a brand or living a double life? And the livestream kept revealing more uncomfortable hints. Tasha K claimed people inside the industry already knew. That whispers were everywhere. That nobody wanted to speak publicly. Because careers could end overnight. Because alliances matter more than truth. Because silence protects power. But one more clip from that same stream changed the tone again, this time focusing not on money, but on ego, fame, and attention.
Much more masculine, in my opinion. Papoose doesn't give me masculinity at all. He gives me all up in the video, wanna be you, wanna stunt with you, wanna eat off you, whereas Tony, in my opinion, wasn't trying to be.
That line exploded online because it suggested something deeper. Not just love, not just money, but fame sharing. People started noticing how often he appeared beside Claressa, how interviews turned into joint appearances, how headlines mentioned him even when fights were about her. And suddenly, everything looked staged. The relationship, the branding, the public image. Was Claressa being uplifted or overshadowed? Was this support or spotlight stealing? Nobody could answer. But the questions wouldn't stop. Fans defended Claressa fiercely, saying she deserved loyalty, respect, truth. Others blamed Remy. Others blamed Papoose. Others blamed the industry itself. Because sometimes, the system rewards drama more than honesty. And the saddest part? In every version of the story, Claressa looked alone. Alone on Christmas. Alone in headlines. Alone in whispers she never heard. A champion fighter, undefeated in the ring, but allegedly losing the most important fight of her life. The fight for trust. If this was really about power, money, and image, then Claressa wasn't just in a relationship. She was in a deal. And the contract, allegedly, was written without her knowing. Because sometimes in Hollywood, love is just another business arrangement. And if more receipts come out, this story might not just expose a relationship. It might expose an entire system hiding behind it. By the time the story reached its third day, the silence was louder than ever. No official statements. No clean denials. No calm explanations. Just tension, building across social media like a storm that refused to break. Because people weren't just talking about a relationship anymore. They were talking about character, about reputation, about things that could never be undone. And when Tasha K returned to the livestream, her tone changed. Slower, colder, more careful. Like someone who knew she was stepping into dangerous territory. She said there were stories she didn't want to tell, but couldn't ignore. Stories whispered in dressing rooms, in backstage corners, in quiet late-night calls. Stories about Papoose that went beyond Christmas night, beyond money, beyond fame. Because according to rumors, there were claims about behavior, about temper, about things people heard, but never proved. And that's when the internet froze again. Because this time, it wasn't about gifts. It wasn't about brands. It wasn't about cheating. It was about safety. It was about the darker side of power. And suddenly fans started asking new questions. Was Claressa Shields really safe in that relationship? Was everything she saw real? Or was she caught in something bigger than love? Because in Hollywood, rumors don't start without smoke. And Tasha K said the smoke was everywhere. People began replaying old interviews, old fights, old clips, trying to read body language, tone, silence, trying to understand what was real and what was performance. Some defended Papoose fiercely, calling everything lies, calling everything clout chasing. Others said they had heard similar stories before. No proof, no confirmation, just whispers, spreading faster than truth. And then came the clip that made everything darker.
You said Papoose is known for his hands in New York. Yeah, I heard, putting them on women. I've only heard Papoose putting hands on women.
That sentence hit like thunder. Because it wasn't an accusation with details. It wasn't evidence. It wasn't a charge. It was something more dangerous. A rumor repeated aloud. And once a rumor is spoken, it can't be erased. The internet exploded. Some people called it reckless. Some people said it was brave. Some people demanded proof. But everyone kept watching. Because now the story wasn't just emotional. It was frightening. Fans started asking, if these rumors were true, what did Claressa know? If they were false, who started them? And why now? Why after Christmas night? Why after the fur coat story? Why after the money claims? Because sometimes, when one truth comes out, other secrets follow. And suddenly the entire timeline looked suspicious. Old arguments. Old posts. Old rumors about tension between Remy Ma and Papoose resurfaced. People asked, did Remy know something? Did Claressa ignore warning signs? Did the industry stay quiet on purpose? No answers. Only speculation. And in the middle of all this noise, Claressa stayed silent. No live stream. No long statement. No emotional breakdown online. Just quiet. The kind of quiet that scares people more than words. Because silence can mean strength, or shock, or heartbreak too deep to explain. Fans flooded her comments with support, with prayers, with anger. But the truth still hid behind shadows. And that's when insiders started saying something even colder. They said, everyone knew about the tension. Everyone saw the signs. Everyone stayed quiet because careers were at risk. Because loyalty in Hollywood is bought, not earned. And suddenly, this wasn't a love story anymore. It was a system. A system where image matters more than truth. Where fame protects secrets. Where silence keeps deals alive. And Claressa may have been caught in the middle of it all. A champion fighter, undefeated in headlines, but allegedly betrayed in private. Because sometimes, the strongest people are hurt in the quietest ways. If these allegations keep growing, if more receipts appear, if more insiders speak, will the truth destroy careers, or finally protect the one person who didn't see it coming? Because this story isn't over. Not while rumors keep spreading. Not while questions stay unanswered. Not while silence protects secrets. So now the world waits. Waiting for Claressa to speak. Waiting for Papoose to respond. Waiting for Remy to break her silence. Because when that moment comes, Hollywood might hear the loudest heartbreak it's ever tried to hide. And just when everyone thought the story couldn't get darker, insiders started whispering that more receipts might still be sitting in private folders, waiting for the right moment to explode. Because if even half of what Tasha K claimed about Papoose, Claressa Shields, and Remy Ma turns out to be true, this isn't just celebrity drama anymore. It's a full-blown betrayal that could rewrite everything fans believed about loyalty, love, and power in the spotlight. People inside the industry are allegedly panicking, deleting posts, going silent, pretending they never saw what they saw, because nobody wants their name caught in the fallout when the truth finally lands. And that truth is coming, slowly, piece by piece, like a storm rolling over Hollywood with no warning and no mercy. Because here's the reality nobody wants to say out loud. If Claressa was played, if money and fame were used as leverage, if a double life really existed, then someone's image is about to shatter in front of millions of people who never forgive and never forget. Screenshots don't disappear. Timelines don't lie. And secrets don't stay buried forever. So now the question is simple. Who's telling the truth and who's hiding behind silence? Was this all rumors blown out of control, or the first crack in a story that's been covered up for years? Drop your thoughts below, because if more receipts surface and more insiders speak, this scandal won't just trend for a day, it will explode into the kind of controversy that ends careers overnight. Stay locked in, because the next leak could change everything.